Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Blair, and in case you hadn't noticed, it's been a little while since my last video. So I hope in this video to sort of bring you guys back up to speed on what's been going on with Project ALVVAYS and sort of where we stand and kind of what's happened in the last number of months. I don't even remember the last time I made a video. I know it was back in the spring, might have been May. Feels like a long time ago, like a world away. We're now sitting in November, it's cold, and to be honest, the car's actually put away for the season, so there's not going to be any further work coming down the pipe. But I did spend the summer and some of the early fall shooting as much as I possibly could and trying to cram through as many of the goals that I had for the car as I possibly could. But even with the summer of COVID and kind of clearing my schedule for a lot of things, you know, I guess I'm just at that age where life kind of takes over, and even with the best laid plans, sometimes things just kind of go awry, and that's sort of what's happened here. So to bring you up to speed, Project ALVVAYS, my 2002 Honda Civic, former sound quality show car. I've been in the process of doing basically an entire rebuild on it. Almost every aspect of the car, the suspension, the body, interior bits, rebuilding a lot of the sound system, doing upgrades and things of that nature. And I did, if you watched my goal video a while back, I outlined some of the stuff that I was going to be doing on it, and part of the reason I made that goal video was to help keep myself on track as well as to help others too. So, you know, I also hope to kind of tell you in this video that even though sometimes you don't always achieve the goals that you've set out to achieve, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. You know, there can be a lot of environmental things at play here, many different aspects that can derail the best of plans, the best well-laid plans for any project. And you know, it's hard when you're trying to balance everything else going on in life, which ended up being quite a bit this summer. Like I said, even with COVID going on, life doesn't stop, I suppose. It kind of went off the rails, as I mentioned. But you know, even with that, sometimes you just have to go back, reassess your goals, and kind of pick up the pieces a little bit and keep moving forward. I think that's the biggest issue with a lot of people is, you know, even if they do set some firm goals for things they would like to do, when the stuff inevitably does go awry, which is going to happen, you know, no matter what, there's always going to be something at some point in time that's going to affect your project. They don't want to get back on, back on the wagon after and keep going, keep motoring along. So, you know, just hope to tell you here and hope to show you through my own experiences that even when you experience setbacks, and believe me, this summer I encountered a lot of setbacks, even things I'd done before. It's just everything was fighting me, and I feel like I had to relearn things that I've done a number of times in the past. And it's just sometimes it is what it is, and you, like I said, you got to keep pushing on, and eventually you'll get it done. That's not going to be this summer, and to be honest, I never expected to get everything done in one summer anyway. It was pretty lofty, the goals that I'd set. Anyway, with that, I will let you guys watch the video and show you how I got on. I'm going to break this probably into 3 smaller pieces because I did do a lot of filming. So for today, you're going to get to see the beginnings of the paint and prep work for Project ALVVAYS. So with that, enjoy. Alright, so here is my used Honda HFP OEM lip in all of its used and beat up glory. But what can you really expect for, I think, $40 or $50 I paid for it? So it's, you know, overall it's not bad shape. There's no rips or tears, any real major damage. As you can see, it looks like probably some rocks and other road grit have flown into it at high speed. So, you know, there's a little bit of damage, including maybe a little bit of light curbing and stuff, but nothing substantial, nothing that a little bit of elbow grease can't fix. Okay, so here basically I'm just trying to knock off all the original paint. I used, I think, like a 150-200 grit or something, which to be honest is a bit aggressive. It tends to bite into the plastic a little bit more than I would like it to, so I probably wouldn't recommend that, but it is a lot more effective doing it that way. Time moves a little bit quicker. And here's what it looks like after laying down some initial coats of primer onto it, just to kind of give me an idea sort of what I was working with here. I don't know why I didn't have that in the GoPro footage, but yeah, this is what it looks like just after those sort of initial coats of primer before prepping it to move on to doing some more coats of primer, and then obviously the next phase, paint. Okay, so once again, kind of jumping forward here in time, but this is what it looks like after I've laid down the coats of paint, the light base coat to start, and then obviously progressing to some heavier coats after the coats have dried. Always give it some time in between coats, especially the initial drop coat. That's very important to do. Also, it's a pretty windy day, so it was very hard to get this to lay down correctly. Tricky thing when you don't have a garage. But, you know, overall, I think it turned out pretty nice. This is what it looks like after laying down the coats of clear. And as we're moving through this, I'm noticing I seem to be missing a bunch of footage, so I'm not sure what happened there. But anyway, at this point, I decided it would be a good time to bring the lip inside so I could sit down and begin the buffing process to remove the imperfections that you can kind of plainly see there. You can see that sort of eggshell kind of effect happening from the overspray when I was doing the clear coating outside. When you paint from a rattle can, or you know, even if you're using a professional paint spraying system rather, when you're doing it outside and the elements and stuff's blowing around, it's very hard to get even nice coats. So that's sort of what you're seeing there. So what I did was grab some different grits of sandpaper. I think the lowest I went with was like a 400 all the way up to a 2000, just sort of progressively working my way up. And I don't know if you can see it in the background there, but I had my little buffing kit, some various polishing pads, and some cutting and polishing compounds. So, you know, essentially what I did here was just spend the next little while going over everything, just spending my time, you know, like I said, working up through the grits and then polishing everything out. And this brings us up to the final stage of polishing with the lip installed on the car. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Stay tuned for part 2.